You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 297. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen's pal, Jeff Barnhart.
Jimmy isn't returning Jeff's calls.
Oh.
Before we get started on this episode today, Jeff, I want to remind our listeners that we're running a contest to commemorate our 300 episodes of this program, which we'll having our 300th episode will be recorded sometime in July. We've experienced some delays in scheduling and stuff, but what can you do? Life happens. But all you have to do to enter to win our drawing is drop us an email at comic.reflections@gmail.com and leave us an iTunes review. Do those two things, be a resident of the continental United States, and you are good to go, and we will draw the winner on episode 300.
Wow.
So you've got a few more weeks to get going on that, folks. As Jeff alluded to earlier, we are going to discuss two more issues of Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, beginning with issue number 106, cover dated October of 1967, but according to Mike's Amazing World of Comics, it hit the stands August 22nd, 1967. We got a cool cover here, penciled by Kurt Swan and inked by George Klein.
Wow.
Jeff, we want to talk about this cover.
It's classic Jimmy Olsen comic book. Superman's afraid to go under a ladder. How are they going to fix this? You know, it's always this mystery on these.
Why is the Man of Steel afraid to go under a ladder? How ridiculous.
Superstitions, most of them are kind of common sense.
Yeah.
Going underneath the ladder is a bad idea. You know?
Sure, I mean, something could fall, okay.
You can knock it down and knock down the person.
But it's not because you went under a ladder.
Right.
It's just being under a ladder is a dangerous place. I mean, the idea of superstition being a foil against Superman is weird, but it kind of makes sense because of his vulnerability to magic.
Right.
So there's some connectivity there. I mean, okay, neither one of them are real, but in a pretend context, superstition is still not real.
Yeah. One superstition I believe in is knock on wood, which is telling me don't get cocky, kid. So everything's going great today. Knock, knock.
I learned that from Han Solo.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, but the lead story in this issue is The Lone Wolf Legionnaire Reporter, written by Jim Shooter, art penciled and inked by Pete Costanza. And of course, at this time, the teenage Jim Shooter was kind of the wonderkind protege of editor Mort Weisinger, and he was writing Supergirl stories and the Legion of Superheroes. So, and here he is doing a Jimmy story.
Yeah, a wonderful splash panel of... Wow.
Yeah.
Jimmy...
One more thing. For those who may have forgotten, Jim Shooter went on to, as an adult, be the editor-in-chief at Marvel Comics for close to a decade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Jimmy Olsen's looking dejected because, man, the 30th century is really boring. You can't make any kind of newspaper articles there. And behind him, there's 3 flying cars crashing and a bank robbery, and someone's hanging from a ledge. I love these old 50s cars. They have and they have fins on them.
Yeah.
And they fly. That's great. All cars should have
Well,
fins.
I love that their future cars are just like 1950s cars that can fly.
Right.
Yep. Very, very, very good.
I see nothing wrong with that.
Very cutting edge for 1967. Not.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that's 50 years ago. It's the summer of love.
Wow.
And here's Jimmy Olsen, super 50s, which is, I don't know, part of the charm.
Yeah, I think throughout really the Silver Age Superman books, I mean, they're really stuck in about 1954 or 5 in just culturally.
It's a charm for me.
It's a fine window and snapshot of a time to play with for a decade of comics, or 15 years of comics, whatever. Yeah. I'm into it. But yeah, what's going on with Jimmy?
All right, Jimmy, he's at the Metropolis Fairgrounds, and he is participating in a human cannonball. He's the cannonball. He's the cannon, and he is the net where the cannonball falls into.
He's doing this as Elastic Lad. He's taking the Elastic Lad serum and doing all this goofy stuff with it.
Yeah,
it's pretty wackadoo, I gotta say.
Yeah, it is. And he's doing for they're making a new wing at a children's hospital, and that's like one of the greatest charities of all time.
Sure.
That Jeff's beer and nacho fun, but
can you even drink beer anymore?
Not much, no.
Yeah,
I got puppies. I might sit on them.
Don't you have like a disease or something? No, not a disease. Like an allergy, wheat allergy.
My wife does. So my wife is allergic to wheat and gluten, so that makes me allergic to wheat.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so suddenly he is called into the 30th century, which is the greatest century of all. So.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, he is summoned to the future by the Legion of Superheroes, and of course, Jimmy is an honorary member of the Legion. Mm-hmm. He can't be a real one because his powers are not. They come from him drinking a serum, not like he just has them.
Oh, okay.
He isn't permanently. He can't use his Elastic Lad powers any old time.
And he carries this bottle around. That's just wonderful.
Yeah, but it's so funny though because Bouncing Boy drank a thing that permanently changed him, and then he got to be in the Legion.
Yeah, I can see that. And,
yeah, there is a difference, and I get it. Because what if they're on a mission trapped on a world and he's like out of the serum? Well, then they're all gonna die.
Yeah, or
maybe.
Or the plant that makes the serum goes extinct. Then you're out of it,
Yeah.
So, all right. So,
which Legionnaires do we have here?
Oh, we have
Brainiac 5,
Mon-El, and Duo Damsel.
Yay!
Yeah, some of my favorite.
Yeah, I enjoy them all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Jimmy says, "Well, what do you need me for?" As Elastic Lad, and we don't need Elastic Lad. We need Jimmy Olsen, star reporter, and they had this Legion Bulletin, which was a clubhouse newspaper that turned to be popular with the Galactic Fuzz at this time, and
the science place.
Yeah, they have to. So they have to put it out, and which I don't know is a big deal. Can't you? Oh, we're busy saving the universe, so next issue will be a month late.
Yeah,
but they had to have somebody to work on it. Duo Damsel, although she is 2 people, you think that'd be enough, needs help with this. So, and everybody else is busy saving the universe. So they call in Jimmy to finish the paper.
A couple of anachronistic things about this. You had something in your notes about
it's a newspaper. It is a physical newspaper.
Right.
And it's 2017, and newspaper is almost dead now. I think by 2030. There will be hardly any classic newspapers.
Oh, yeah. So we're talking 1,000 years in the future-ish.
Yeah.
Like, no, there's no way.
Right. It's interesting that they couldn't think of another way of newspapers. It's inconceivable that newspapers would die.
Right. Well, and it's also weird to me that you would get a guy from 1,000 years ago to help you with anything. If we had a time bubble and, hey, why don't we get a guy from the Bronze Age, not of comic books, of actual history, to do
work on our plumbing.
He would be useless. And I mean, for the conceit of the story, like reporting on stuff, and it's basically like our society now, but with like Jetsons future.
Yeah,
it works, but you see where I'm going with this?
Right. That is intriguing. Although, if there's one thing that would be useful, a couple of jobs would be useful. Was you'd get Uhtred, the Saxon warrior. This is from The Last Kingdom on Netflix. I think a wonderful series.
Okay.
And if you want someone hewn with an axe, you'd call him. A chronicler, be writing in Latin at that time, and a reporter is about the only thing you could use from the 20th century in the future for that. That'd be remotely useful.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and Jimmy has spent time in the 30th century, so it's not like he's like completely a fish out of water.
Yeah.
So, I guess it would work.
Although, if we got someone from 1,000 years ago, what he thinks about our century and our times would be fascinating reading.
Yeah, I mean the way they would. I mean their attempt to describe it would be
Yeah, that'd be entertaining as all get out. I love those things.
indeed.
But okay. Ooh, I love these spaceships outside the Legion Hall. So
Yeah, the Legion Clubhouse. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's fun.
yeah. Um, so Jimmy gets out of his Elastic Lad costume and he gets into this new costume from the 30th century, and it's got these collars that go to his shoulder, and I think
Yeah.
that was a thing in the 70s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's kind of goofy looking, but it looks like a slightly futuristic version of Jimmy's regular outfit.
Yeah,
And still wearing a bow tie.
yeah, yeah. That's just hilarious. All right. So Jimmy says, of course. And I think maybe they want to see Jimmy because Jimmy's a nice guy. And so, yay. So,
Yeah. Okay.
and so, oh, we don't know any reporters, so let's call him. Although it's probably reporters in the 30th century.
Yeah.
Maybe. So all right, Jimmy's
Yeah.
looking.
There are probably reporters in the 30th century. Why couldn't they get one of them?
Maybe they didn't want to have to do the security checks.
Is
this
it
guy.
is it that does it have to be somebody that's already affiliated with the Legion
Maybe,
to write it?
yeah.
And so Jimmy can because he's an honorary Legionnaire?
Mhm. Yeah. And it's not like it's an emergency. You know, that's what the
Yeah.
yeah,
This
that's-
story is
Yeah. But
So
it's
goofy.
super fun. Okay, so
yeah, and I'm not complaining. It's a Legion story.
yeah.
I'm in.
And Legion and Jimmy story.
Yeah.
It's double good.
Yeah.
Double plus good.
Yeah.
So Jimmy goes to university and is bored by a university lecture, which would probably be true. In the 30th century, university lectures be boring.
Yeah.
He goes to and that turns out to be nothing for him. So he's trying to look for the good article. He goes to interview somebody, and he's going to take the monorail, and he notices this child on the track. So he goes to save her, and there's no time to get the child, but there's time to stop the train, which doesn't sound logical. But
Yeah.
this was used in that movie. It was a Hancock with.
Oh, yeah, with
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Why don't you just move the guy? You move the car instead of stopping the train and hurting all these people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess I could have done that. Yeah. But I
Which
guess
is
it's more
funny because I thought that was a very interesting thing to point out.
Yeah, not a bad movie.
It wasn't a great film or anything, but it brought up some very interesting aspects of superhero stuff,
Yeah,
and examined some tropes kind of close up, and things that you wouldn't see done in a Superman movie,
yeah,
and that allowed you to explore that,
Right.
and I liked that. I like that stuff about it.
yeah.
I mean,
Will
really,
Smith did a wonderful job.
no, he was good. He was good.
He usually is. So it is a cool picture of Elastic Lad stopping in a train, which looks cool too.
Oh yeah, because he
And-
took the Elastic Lad serum.
Yeah, and he's about worn out, so he saves the girl, and it's a doll. So
A
it's
prototype for a child robot.
we learn later.
Oh right.
Yeah, which
What would you need that for? What would you want that for?
I cannot imagine unless you want to annoy friends or something like
Well,
that.
okay, like what if you were childless or like you had lost a child?
Maybe. Or you want to, or you're trying to test child protective devices.
Okay,
So-
sure. There could be some application.
Yeah.
It's weird, but
Mhm.
also okay. So he's out looking for news stories.
Yeah.
Regular news
Yeah,
stories.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Isn't this Legion newsletter? Shouldn't it be like about Legion stuff?
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be. It's about crime.
Okay.
Yeah, and solving crime and all that. So, so this little episode makes him late for his appointment. So he's really sucking wind on this. So, man, these cars are so cool. So,
Yeah.
he goes by a bank and they're having an issue. A bank vault is closed and someone's stuck in there, and they're going to suffocate because it's on a time lock and it's an atomic bank safe.
Yeah.
Although even 50 years ago they had vents for
Sure.
in case something like this happens.
Right. And somebody says, hey, there's a lot of comic book and TV shows that use this trope. Why don't we fix that problem?
Yeah.
So we don't get embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jimmy, because he can't really open a bank vault, he uses the Superman signal watch to call Mon-El.
So I guess Mon-El has super hearing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think Mon-El knows about the watch.
Well, and here's the thing. Mon-El basically has Superman's power set.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be able to hear the signal watch too.
Yeah. And he knows what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I would love to have a watch that went Z, Z, Z. And I would also even love it more if Superman came and I hit it. Superman, how can I open this bottle of ketchup? Can you save me? The fries are getting cold. Oh, man. So, Mon-El cannot open it, because if he does, there'll be a nuclear explosion.
What?
Oh.
Why would you protect a bank vault with that kind of safety mechanism?
Because the atomic lock makes it unbreakable. And if he breaks it, it breaks the atomic...
So it'll release radiation.
Chain reaction.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's a deterrent.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So Jimmy drinks his bottle of Elastic Lad serum, and he sneaks in and uses his nose to move a cog, and
that's
opens.
So weird.
Yeah. And
I wonder if he learned that from Elongated Man, because you see his nose wiggle whenever there was a mystery.
Yeah. Jimmy is illiterate. He reads.
Okay. He reads DC comics.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So he goes to the museum, Metropolis Museum, and he's checking out these badges for hero cops.
Okay.
And he's leaning and says, wow, this is really neat. And he breaks the display case.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And these guards look at him and say, oh, man, someone's here. And the alarm's going off. And so Jimmy says, I'm out of here. So he runs away, and he sees the guards running for the, I guess, the central scanning chamber, it says here.
Yeah.
And
he trips the guards as he leaves. He's using the Elastic Lad powers.
Which kind of, I guess he's nervous he's going to get caught, so he trips him so he can get away.
Right.
And then he leaves, and all these cops are there. It says, wow, they're acting like it's John Dillinger in there or something.
Yeah. Do we want to give the denouement of that right now, or... Wait a sec. Okay. Because... just go.
Oh, yeah. So, he goes back, and he's trying to think of an article, and he can't, and he's sad that he failed, so he's tired, so he goes to sleep, and he wakes up, and the Legion there's, hey, great job. He did all kinds of great stuff. So, all right, so let's see. The doll was actually a robot, and it was stolen by vandals and thrown on the tracks.
Yeah.
He cracked the most burglar-proof safe in the universe. So now the banks want to have to change that so elastic people cannot get in there.
Okay, yeah, because there's a big problem with those kind of folks.
The museum, those were the uniform gang. A gang of criminals who wear uniforms and steal stuff. So he caught them.
Wow.
And they have this scanner and all this stuff, and that will write what you say. So Duro Damsel used what he had done already and made into wonderful stories, and everybody's happy.
Yay.
Yeah. Oh my.
Okay.
We have an in-house ad.
So that was the end of that story. Yeah, we have a great house ad for an 80-page giant for World's Finest with Superman and Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
And it's a collection of stories of their adventures together.
Yeah, the Sinister Star creature, and oh man, Swami's Incorporated. Wow. Oh man, and Superman's pet, some weird creature, and and a boy from outer space, which is going to be Superman's Robin.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that reminds me of there was some reference on The Simpsons to a Radioactive Man story.
Yeah.
Like, Radioactive Man meets the Kami Swami. I just love that.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
I'm shocked it's not used before.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, now it's Superman's luckiest, unluckiest day.
Yes. And this is written by Richard E. Excuse me. Written by Leo Dorfman, penciled by Kurt Swan, and inked by George Klein.
Yeah.
What's going on in the splash panel?
Jimmy is breaking a mirror because that's part of he's supposed to break a mirror, and Superman doesn't want to. I love the reflection of Superman in the mirror. It's a funhouse mirror.
Yeah.
And it looks really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so what's going on? All right. Okay, Superman is meeting an alien ambassador, and he's being ambushed by the alien. And I love the way the alien is drawn. His outfit is cool.
Yeah.
So the alien is throwing bombs, and Jimmy's in his whirlybird and uses the oh man, never use. If you're pretending to be a Vietnam vet, don't call them whirlybirds because that is a lame nickname for a helicopter.
Yeah. This alien looks like he's wearing lederhosen.
It's kind of cool though. Yeah. He uses the he uses the blades of the propeller to blow the bomb back, and the bomb hits the alien.
Okay.
And he's dying.
But he was fighting Superman to a standstill.
Yeah, he had a kryptonite bomb.
Oh, okay.
So, the alien is grateful. They're trying to help him, and the alien's grateful because, hey, I was trying to kill you, and you're trying to save me. So, all right, I'll tell you something. And we don't hear a lot of it, but it's something like
We hear just pieces of it. He's whispering to Superman.
Beware, 13, misfortune, catastrophe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jimmy only hears part of that. Superman heard all of it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, Superman acts nervous. And so, Jimmy says, "Wow, you're really acting." To himself, he's acting like an oddball. So, and speaking of oddballs, Jimmy goes back and he sees people are trying to find four-leaf clovers
In the park.
and he said, "What goes on with these kooks?" And then someone finds a pen. It's something. See a pen, pick it up, and all day long you'll have good luck.
I never heard that.
A
penny, not
I
a
have
pin.
kind of heard about that, but the guy picks it up and he's almost hit by a car, and
Almost, though. Yeah.
yeah, okay. So I guess it was his lucky day. And he says, "Oh, tomorrow is Friday the 13th."
Well, don't go to Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah, these superstitious nitwits, ha ha ha.
Those horny teenagers, they're all going to die.
Yeah. All right, running off if I were you, Jimmy Olsen, and it is,
So this guy dressed like the Penguin comes in.
or Professor Marvel from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
He says, "Horseshoe Harrigan's the name.
Ugh.
Dealer in rabbit's feet, plastic-covered four-leaf clovers, and Lucky Charms." So he said, Jimmy said, "This is a newspaper. No one believes that crap." Says, "Oh, really?"
I love your paraphrase. Like,
yeah. And okay. All right. Horseshoe opens a umbrella, and the other newsman says, "Don't do that. It'll mess up circulation and all that stuff." He said, "Oh, don't worry. I crossed my fingers and knocked on wood." So, and someone says, "Thank heavens he did that." Yeah. So,
wow. No, Lois says that.
is it Lois?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which, Lois, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
You're an adult.
Right.
You know.
Okay. So, Horseshoe, I love the name. He says he issues a challenge to Superman that to prove that superstitions are real. So Superman has to lead 13 black cats across the corner of 13th Street at 11 a.m., break a mirror in front of 13 Jonah Street, walk under a ladder at 24, that's no big, Broad Street at 1 p.m. Superstitiously yours, Horseshoe Harrigan. I'm going to do all my work emails. Read any of those documents by Wednesday. Superstitiously yours, Jeff.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Not even Superman can defy a hoodoo. Man.
Who says that?
Oh, the
Harrigan?
Horseshoe Harrigan.
God, what a name.
I know. I want to name my first kid.
You're not having kids.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, well. I'll name your kids that.
I'm not having them either.
All right.
I am my kid.
Yeah. All right.
I'm living my forever childhood.
Yeah. Superman comes in after Horseshoe leaves. And he doesn't like this challenge idea at all. And
Superman's basically like, oh, I'm getting out of here.
I just remember have a vital mission I must perform on the 13th.
Boy, the look on Superman's face is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay. All right. Okay, so the next day, on Friday 13th, here comes these black cats with Jimmy. Jimmy's got 13 black cats on a leash.
That's wild.
Yeah. At the same time, these bank robbers, well, Superman's going to be busy with the black cats. We'll rob a bank. And if Superman was in town, I'd move to another town.
Yeah.
I don't understand. You really think...
Like, are you that stupid?
Yeah.
You know Superman's around.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take chances because you're going to get sent up the river for years. You're
Yeah.
that confident? Really?
Yeah. Oh, I love their masks. They look cool. So.
Oh, yeah. I forgot they were wearing masks.
Yeah.
They're super creepy looking.
Mm-hmm. So Superman's scared of the little black cats, and Jimmy's like, man, he's shaking like a go-go dancer.
What?
So Jimmy's taking 12 of the cats away, but one little kitten's still there, and he's backed up Superman to a corner, and Superman can't move.
They're all black cats, by the way.
Right. And the bank is being robbed. They hear the bank alarm. They're running out, and Superman won't do anything about it because he's afraid. So Jimmy takes the cream, let's see, was it the cream bottles for the cats?
Okay.
They fed the cats cream. You're not supposed to do that, really, but
Okay.
he takes them and he throws them in front of the speeding car, and they break and they destroy the tires. This is before radial tires. I think glass might really mess up your tires. You don't have steel belted and all that.
Oh, okay. Well, that is a problem. I know, because you see in old movies, people have blowouts all the time.
Yeah.
And is it because they don't have the steel belted radial tires?
Man, you'd go through 1 or 2 tires a year.
Wow.
Yeah, there's something else.
Well, I'm glad we changed that law.
Yeah,
No.
it is the 21st century.
Oh, yeah.
So Jimmy says...
Don't remind me that we're reading stuff from a previous century. It makes me feel like a grandpa.
Okay.
How Jeff feels every day.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, and I love that Superman. Folks, my pretended fear was all an act to prove that even an ordinary mortal like Jimmy could safely defy a jinx. Yeah, and Jimmy says, they sure had me fooled. I wonder, was it really an act? All right, so they go, and people are starting talking. The Jimmy Olsen fan club. Oh man, you're not in the fan club for Superman. You're in the fan club for Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
You know, but I would be in that.
Right, but it's very weird.
Yeah. And they all wear bow ties. Oh man.
And they've never kissed a girl.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. And they're giving Superman grief. Man, is he really believing that superstition stuff? So I go to an old fun house, and they're going to break these fun house mirrors. I'm not sure why it has to be fun house mirrors, but their fun house mirrors are fun.
Well, and it's hence the name.
Yeah.
And also visually, it's more impressive for a comic book to do funhouse mirrors than regular mirrors.
Right.
Because you have the opportunity to draw wacky images, distorted.
Yeah. And so Superman says, I just can't break the mirror. And Jimmy says, well, let me show you. And he breaks the mirror for him. And people say, some Superman, they ought to call him Super Chicken. Do you remember that TV show, Super Chicken?
Vaguely. It was a cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it was a real guy.
A real chicken. Yeah, it was a reality show, Super Chicken, solving crimes. Okay. Superman blew it. Now the whole world thinks he's a superstitious numbskull. the poor guy. They're making fun of him, but he saved the world. How many times? He saved thousands, millions of lives. In addition to saving the world, which has saved billions. And so, he's a little bit so superstitious and, they're going after him? Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, ye of little faith. Man. So, the final thing is going underneath a ladder. And Superman is super scared about it. Yeah, I love the thing that the ladder is bright yellow. That's kind of... It's how they do comic books, but it's kind of neat.
It is how they do comic books.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me, Jeff.
I know you forget all the time, but it's
they only have 4 colors.
Yeah.
Okay, or 3 to blend.
Mm-hmm. So Jimmy he thinks he knows what's going on, so he says, let's get the people away from here.
Yeah.
So, and then Superman he finally goes underneath the ladder, and a bomb appears through space, and
we'll call it a space bomb.
Oh. Yeah.
And Superman blocks the blast, saves all the people, and the bomb comes through a dimensional portal
into Superman.
Yeah, but since Superman's blocking it, the explosion goes backwards into the other dimension and kills the crap out of it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of damage in here, but not as bad.
But it kills the crap out of the alien invaders, who were part of the alien Sideburns man that Superman fought earlier.
Yeah, the alien he tried to help was grateful, and he told him that he's a spy from Dimension Corridor 349. You remember that, right?
Yeah, sure.
And they're going to make a doomsday bomb and send it to Earth. The alien was grateful that Superman tried to save him, even though the alien tried to kill him.
Yeah. So
he tells him it's on the 13th, and here's the coordinates. And Superman figures out it's going to be right where he's going to put that ladder.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the aliens are watching. And Superman knows they're watching.
So he had to act superstitious and afraid to go there so they would send the bomb so he could stop it.
Yeah, and he's weak, so they don't have to worry about him.
Yeah. Okay, couple things. We get a closer look at this alien's face. He's got like this widow's peak that goes from the top of his forehead down to the middle of his eyebrows. And these crazy mutton chops.
Yeah.
And red hair.
Yeah, and he's bald on the sides. And
it's really weird.
Yeah, looks good on him.
Okay.
But I love the... So, Superman was, of course, Horseshoe Harrigan. I was surprised at that, actually.
I forgot about that. That Horseshoe Harrigan. So ridiculous. But yeah, I didn't realize that Clark wasn't in the room when Horseshoe was around. I should have figured that.
Yeah. Yeah, at least... in Jimmy Olsen's, if somebody's not in the room, they're doing it. Where's Lois? And then here's the Spider Lady or something.
Right. Yeah. Very good. So Jimmy or Superman, deflected the blast back into the dimension, and all those bad guys got killed, right?
Right. Because the bomb cannot exist within Superman, so it bounces.
Right. Here's the thing, though. Superman cares about preserving life. Don't you think he would have tried to find a way to not kill all those people too? They sent it and he just deflected it, so he didn't quote unquote kill them. But why?
This happens again too, that people die. In the very beginning of this, that the wind from the helicopter blades blew the bomb back onto the alien, and that's what kills him.
Right. But that was Jimmy doing it.
Yeah. But here, Superman could have stopped it, I guess.
Sure.
But here's super breath.
I know, but check this out. Why didn't Superman wrap his cape around the bomb at super speed? The cape is indestructible, so that would have absorbed the whole blast, right?
It's indestructible and indestructible. I'm not sure. It's a doom bomb that can destroy a planet. Even how strong the cape is, I'm not sure it's that strong.
Well, here's the thing. If it was that strong, don't you think the explosion would have gone around Superman, too?
It's because it appeared, half of it went into Superman. It phased into Superman, so that broke the bond.
Wait, it materialized partly inside his body?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay.
And and it bounced it back. So
okay.
And the blast was not planet busting, but it was bad enough. But I love this final panel of these two dejected aliens, and they're
destroyed city.
The city was destroyed, and although it makes it seem like they're the ones, those two guys here we see, the aliens, actually did this, but you would think they'd be dead. But unless the whole planet was in on them, then they got what was coming to them because they're a bad planet.
How much you want to bet these two aliens join the Superman Revenge Squad?
Yeah,
right.
It's a possibility.
Yeah,
yeah. But super cool, awesome,
fun, yay!
Yeah.
So that's it for that issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't we take a quick promotional break?
Don't we?
Well, because I don't want to. No, we will. And we'll come back with more Jimmy Olsen. Stick around.
Aquaman and Firestorm fighting crime together. Soak them down or burn them up. No one does it better. Whenever you find trouble, they'll always be there to catch them in a bubble or even torch their hair. Stand for truth and justice in sea, on land, and air. Firestorm and Aquaman, they make a super pair.
The Fire and Water Podcast, celebrating Aquaman, King of the Seven Seas, and Firestorm, the Nuclear Man.
Available weekly on Aquaman Shrine, Firestorm Fan, and on iTunes and Stitcher.
I'm one of your hosts, the Irredeemable Shag, here to talk about Firestorm. Along with me is my co-host Rob Kelly, here to talk about some guy that talks to fish.
Really? You're going to pull this crap during the promo? Bad enough I have to put up with your shenanigans every week, but...
Stop and listen! Stop and listen to me! Listen! Listen! Listen to me! They're not human! Everyone! They're here already! You're next!
November 4th, 1988. Earth is invaded by an alien alliance composed of several species, including the Dominators, the Kuns, the Tanagarians, and the Durlans. And they want our superheroes. Even though Australia has been decimated, the United Nations response is unequivocal. Drop dead. First Strike, the Invasion podcast, takes you back to that moment in time and covers the entire Invasion DC Comics crossover, issue by issue, tie-in by tie-in. Join Bass and Siskoid at fireandwaterpodcast.com or on iTunes. First Strike, the Invasion podcast, a proud member of the Fire and Water Podcast Network. Remember, Albert.
And we're back. So Jeff and I are now going to talk about Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, number 107. Cover dated December of 1967, but according to Mike's Amazing World of Comics, it went on sale October 10th, 1967. We've got a fun cover, penciled by Kurt Swan and inked by George Klein.
Yeah, it's a prime example of super dickery.
No, it isn't.
It isn't.
No, because Superman's not being a dick on this cover. Jimmy is.
I think that super dickery, it just has to do with Superman comics. Lois can be mean, Jimmy can be mean, but it's just on the... That's the impression
my understanding was they were examples of Superman being a dick.
Okay, well, this is a subset of that.
Okay.
Jimmy being a dick.
Okay.
Superman is cleaning the streets with a broom, and he's wearing his outfit, but he's got a cap on that shows that you are the street cleaner. You know? Yeah. And Jimmy is a guy that says, hey, look, yes, folks, Superman used to clean up gangs. Now he cleans up garbage. God, man.
And there's all these people taking pictures and stuff, smiling and pretty much laughing in Superman's face.
Yeah, and
Superman's all
hand dog sad.
Yeah, Superman does look sad. Yeah, and so the lead story in this issue is called The Rise and Fall of Superman, and was written by Cary Bates, who would write a lot of Superman stories in the Bronze Age. But he's getting his start at this time. And The story was penciled by Kurt Swan and inked by George Klein. So it's the classic Superman art team.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. First splash panel. Okay. Superman is cleaning a window on a woman's clothing shop, and I was thinking it's a mod fashions, and I said, man, that can't be mod. And I googled mod fashions 1967, and not too far from the truth.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's a weird looking dress, but
I thought the bows were stupid. And no, they couldn't have bows. Yeah, they did. And,
okay.
Actually, this is understated. I cannot describe dresses, but it's goofball.
Okay. So then we go to Superman and Jimmy flying around.
Yeah, they're in Africa, just looking for animals, I guess. Okay, and they Bush pilot reported seeing a fantastic new species of animal, and they find it, and it's a DC Comics alien, and it's great.
Yeah, boy, this story's full of that. This is the issue, really.
Yep. All right. He acts like a hunting dog. It's like a triceratops, bug-eye with
tusks and a horn, and it's kind of armored looking. It's crazy.
Yeah, like a rhinoceros and a cow
and an armadillo.
Yeah, it's got a tail with spikes on it.
Yeah, it's
cool.
Crazy.
Yeah. So then they see this four-eyed alien who's red, and it's being chased by this kind of cool-looking 50s spaceship.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It actually looks a lot cooler than Brainiac's ship, which is just a very generic flying saucer.
You're right. It does. That'd be a lot better than Brainiac's.
Don't get me wrong, I like Brainiac.
Right.
His ship is kind of meh.
And yet, you can draw anything, almost. Spend a little bit more time on the ship.
I know. Brainiac's ship is like, they put like no thought into it.
Yeah, it's a flying saucer, right?
Yeah, it's like the most generic flying saucer of all. But anyway, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't about Brainiac. Let's talk about this.
Okay. So Superman...
this alien's being chased and shot at by spaceship lasers.
Superman goes in front of a laser and saves the guy. And he's in good. Now I can slip away. All right. So the guys come out and says, hey, you know what you've done? You let a convicted murderer escape.
Oh, crap.
And so Superman said, I'll find him. So no, he's already gone. Look at the glass, which is the equivalent of your bloodhound. And
that was that cool creature we saw earlier.
Yeah. So they put, they use a para-radiation ray gun on Superman and put him in a crystal box and freeze him. Jimmy Olsen says, hey, you can't do that. And he chases after them, and they put a para-energy wall and stops him.
It's really funny to see Jimmy take a flying leap and just totally eat it against a wall.
Yeah, off, he says. So they're taking Superman back to their planet, and Jimmy says, hey, he need for trial. So Jimmy says, I'll be his lawyer. So, I never went to law school, but I'll do my best. So, okay. So they go to the planet, let's see, Pelgar, which is kind of cool. They spent some time and effort on it. I love these outfits. These
they kind of have these feathered helmets, which are kind of neat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's so weird to see. They have like eyes like we have, but two sets, one on top of each other. Yeah. It's very weird looking.
Yeah, it's four-eyed, literally. Yeah. I'm just four-eyed regularly.
Can you imagine if these guys needed spectacles?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So they release the prisoner, Superman, and they tell him, you're going to be in solitary confinement and you cannot escape because we have Jimmy as a hostage. They didn't really care that he's going to be the lawyer. They're going to use him as a hostage. So if he escapes, they'll kill Jimmy. And so, hey, what's Jimmy up to? This is, okay, they got a big TV screen. Superman's in front of it, and he is in shadow except for the Superman symbol. And that is really cool.
That's very nice. It's very effective. I didn't really notice it, but it's very standout.
I just noticed it right now. So, okay. And it's pretty cool.
I wonder, it's like, is Kurt Swan making use of Wally Wood's 22 panels that always work? I feel like that is one of them.
Interesting.
I don't have it in front of me to reference, but...
Yeah. Well, Jimmy is sitting around watching TV, and it's alien TV, and he says, everything's out of whack. What a kooky TV set. And it's like a big crystal.
Yeah. And they give him something that's kind of like chicken,
but it's feathers.
And you eat the feathers, and they're delicious.
Yeah. And he's on this bed. It's an air bed. It floats, which would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. He says, I've never known comfort such as this.
Yeah.
To that, something to that effect. Mm-hmm. It's pretty neat. I love when they take time to show, like, the difference of just day-to-day things, mundane things on another world.
Yeah, think of some things that make it different, and which is kind of cool. How do they do this, and what's different about it?
Yeah.
It's instead of using spoons and forks, they use sporks. That'd be kind of boring, but this fleshes out the civilization. Not as much. I mean, for a comic book, it does enough.
Yeah.
A science fiction novel, I would need more.
Right. But these are the kind of details that they would add in a novel as opposed to like a television show. If this was TV, they'd leave all that crap out.
Yeah. Yeah, or they just say, rate a few centons before I can get there.
And you'd kind of get the gist of what it was, but then they would move on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very good.
So they here comes the weird trial starts. Let's see, they have 4 jurors. They have the ultimate one, who's a judge. And it's kind of like an idol.
Yeah.
And so Jimmy says, hey, he had no way of knowing that the person he saved was a wanted criminal. He's a deputized lawman in scores of Earth countries, including the one he was in then. But June, who is the bounty hunter, has no jurisdiction there. And they said, that doesn't matter. Okay. He helped a condemned killer to escape justice. This cannot be denied. So they have 4 jurors, and the way they show innocence or guilt is a sword is guilty, a flower is innocent, which is kind of cool. It also tells you which juror voted which way.
Yeah, and normally in our juries in Los Estados Unidos, you don't know who was it. They have to come to usually some kind of consensus.
Mm-hmm. So, so the judge is kind of cool. He says, well, we know you didn't mean to, so all you got to do is spend 1 year doing manual labor until the bad guy gets caught.
And you can't do any, like...
superhero stuff.
Yeah, you can't do any crime solving or anything like that. Yeah, it's really lame. You got to do all this lame stuff.
In full public view.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of blows. So
yeah.
They go off in this cool capsule, and Superman says, I noticed a weird radiation coming from him. Wonder what that'd be useful for.
Radioactivity? I don't know.
All right.
So we go back to Earth. Hey, Krypto's flying around.
Hey, my favorite super pet.
And he feels betrayed because he sees Superman acting as a dog catcher.
And he's wearing a dog catcher's hat. And you see these sad dogs. He's got the butterfly net, and he's got these sad dogs. Oh.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, stray dogs used to be a real problem.
They still are.
But that was somebody's job all the time to go be a dog catcher.
As if there was a dog catcher.
I know, but can you imagine that? Like, that's somebody's job, like all day, every day, going out and catching dogs.
You never seen the movie Friday?
I saw the second one.
The first one, the father is a dog catcher.
Okay.
And
do you realize it's kind of an anachronism in modern times?
No, they have dog catchers. They just don't have these nets. They put out traps.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, they still have dog catchers.
Okay.
And so he's putting up. Krypto is ticked off, man. This is like the worst,
Yeah, he's like, my master's become the enemy.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Yeah. I love that Krypto thinks in English, and we can understand him.
I love that too.
Yeah.
And I think I think if I heard my dog's thoughts, that this would be what he was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
I
petting
love.
that cat. He is a traitor.
Yeah, I love Crypto,
Mhm.
and I love the whole Legion of Super Pets. That's a whole. I love that concept.
Yep.
Comet is so crazy. Comet the Super Horse,
Yeah.
and Streaky and Beppo,
Yeah.
cool. But like Comet is the whole thing is nuts.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I haven't read much. I think I only read a couple.
I mean, we read a story that introduced him, and it's like he was a centaur.
Yeah.
And he got tricked by a witch into becoming either all the way horse or all the way man, and he drank the all the way horse thing by mistake.
Oh.
And so he couldn't be with the gal that he wanted to be with, but he got superpowers because of magic. It's like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah. It's another average run-of-the-mill day in DC Comics at this time.
yeah.
Yay. So
I'm waiting for an archive edition that's just all the Comet, the Super Horse stories.
or the whole super pets. Well, I'd be jiggy with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Oh, Crypto leaves Superman, and Superman's sad.
Yeah.
Jimmy goes to Professor Potter. The wacky Professor Potter. They sometimes call him like wacky Professor Potter.
Professor Potter is one of these supporting characters. He doesn't get a whole lot of play, but when he shows up, it's hard for me not to smile because they just we need a wacky professor character.
With
How
a
about this?
wacky thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got gives Jimmy a watch that does kind of mysterious. We don't know what it does.
I wonder who came first, Professor Potter or Professor Keenbean from Richie Rich,
Ah.
because they kind of do the same thing. Yeah,
I don't know.
they're part Nutty Professor and part Q from the Bond films.
Yeah. All right. So Jimmy gets another job, and his jobs are to follow Superman, and while wearing the watch.
Yeah.
And now Jimmy is an ice cream truck driver,
Yeah.
and Superman is taking these poor kids' dogs to the dog pound,
Yeah.
and Jimmy's kind of sad, so he gives them free ice cream. Okay. And Superman's sad he's doing this.
Right?
Yeah. And Superman's a street cleaner, and he changed his hat, so he's doing that. And here is like the cover. Superman switched from cleaning up crooks to cleaning up garbage. Oh.
Man, do you remember that story we read from the 70s? The guy he was a street cleaner, and he kept either saying he was Superman or that he knew Superman, and it was a load of crap, and then he ended up saving the day somehow.
I kind of remember that, yeah.
Kind of vaguely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember a lot of the details. It wasn't like a great one, but I remember enough to remember, like, that was a story we read.
Mm-hmm.
I know we talked about it on the show. But anyway.
A house ad about new things are coming to DC. Do you have any, or from DC?
I don't think so. Well, this is about 1967.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the writers and artists at DC went to DC and said, hey, we'd like more money, and we'd like a pension, and we want health benefits.
Mm-hmm.
And DC says, congratulations, you're all fired.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the last couple of years in the 60s, they've gotten a lot of new creative people,
Mm-hmm.
and they did try some new experimental things. You got stuff like Brother Power the Geek, and the Creeper, and the Hawk and Dove,
Mm-hmm.
and some other wild, weird, wonderful
Mm-hmm.
things. Angel and the Ape, I think, came along around this time.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them stuck, some of them did not. But
Most of those didn't.
you're right, most of them didn't.
Which is like everything. So.
Sure, you try things. I mean, most of them have not been major characters.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them stuck around to varying degrees, but I think they brought in the Secret Six around this time, and they definitely were trying some new things while they're bringing in fresh creative blood, because they were screwed over the people that had been like the lifeblood of the Silver Age.
Yeah, weren't they making money? It was sort of.
But yes, they're making money. It's a business, but the corporate said no, we're not going to do that, and so they canned a lot of people.
Some businesses. I mean, you're making 2% profit,
Sure.
and I don't know if it's comics and all that. I think hopefully they would do better. I mean, this is like the Silver Age is pretty good money for everybody,
Yeah.
I would think.
I mean, the Golden Age was the highest profits for comics publishing, period, ever. Silver Age, the industry went on a wane, but still doing pretty good.
Yeah.
The real problems didn't start coming along until the Bronze Age.
Yeah.
Because distribution issues came in play. And there's more to that, but anyway.
Yeah. Oh, well. They should have just said, no, we're not going to give you a raise, or I'll give you a 5% raise, and then, okay. But just say, you're fired? Man.
Cold, but, you know.
Okay, so now Superman is washing windows. And now he is digging a ditch for the phone company. And Jimmy gets a job for a day as a farmer, which farm laborers, yeah, but they wouldn't be driving a tractor. You know, tractors are super expensive.
Right.
Hey, this boy is going to work one day, drive this expensive machinery around.
Yeah. So there's a fire near the farm, and Superman can't do any super deeds, but he kind of does, because he's digging a ditch, and he manages to use his superpowers to throw the dirt to the fire and put it out, smother the flames.
Which is pretty clever.
Yeah.
But these farmers saying, why don't you just use a super breath? Some guys can't resist showing off. Dude, come on.
Well, they don't know the whole story.
Yeah, but even so what? And he's got to dig a ditch. The dirt's got to go somewhere. Why not on the fire?
Right.
So, why don't you say thank you for putting the fire out?
Right.
Okay. And here he is washing dishes, and then the cook is saying, be careful with those. You have to pay for any dishes you break. And he's loading coal into a furnace. And, oh, no, it's for a train. Wow, I didn't know they had coal. I guess they did still have coal trains, but I think it's getting
They
rare.
still have coal trains now. John Coltrane.
Aha!
Just kidding. No, he's dead, isn't he? He's got to be. Yeah, they do. Anyway, let's carry on with the story, please.
Superman now is picking up trash. And, let's see. It's interesting that this is jobs that people think are just the lowest. But they don't mention garbage men.
Yeah.
And they don't mention sewer. And they're either dishwasher, I guess, is that less than a burger flipper or something? And
yes,
it's kind of,
I think, I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, geez, there's a lot of crummy jobs. They're going to cover all of them.
Yeah, that's true.
They just picked a few that they figured, oh, okay, we can do
And
this.
be kind of dramatic, too.
Yeah.
I guess. So, if you can make too many burgers, and then, there's not enough customers and stuff like that.
Yeah, but also it's like, do you want to have him be a garbage man? Do you really want to see a story where Superman goes to the dump?
And he compresses it down to a square and throws it into the sun. I don't know, but yeah.
Okay, yes, I do want to see a story. Okay, but carry on, please.
So he is picking up. Let's see.
Is it Jimmy or Superman?
Superman is paper picking in the Metropolis Park, and Jimmy's there. I'm not sure what is Jim. Oh, Jimmy's being a gardener at the time, and his watch goes off. And he's looking around, and he sees this guy. It says Rox Toro, which is the bad guy's name. And he tackles him and tears off his mask, and it's a four-eyed alien.
The fugitive.
Yeah.
And so they're going to take him back to his planet, and Superman is pardoned so he doesn't have to do all the lame crap anymore.
Yeah. It was Jimmy's idea to wear the watch, which is kind of cool. So that's why Superman keeps Jimmy around.
Well, this is why this is even a Jimmy story.
Yeah.
I mean, because otherwise it'd be like...
Yeah, I mean, it could have been Superman's plan to do that, but it was Jimmy's.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have made any difference, but it does show that Jimmy is useful.
But if this issue was in Action or Superman, it'd be like, why is Jimmy even in this story? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be Jimmy's plan for this to make any sense, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's cool. They're taking back the dejected alien. Well, they knew that the alien was going to come by and gloat over Superman's predicament.
Yeah.
And which is, if the alien had just gone to another planet, they'd have had a year of picking up garbage.
Yeah. But of course, he had to be a dick.
Right.
So,
which was great. At the very last panel, they're taking away the dejected alien. His top two eyes are looking one direction. His bottom two are looking the other direction.
yeah, it's just really goofy.
That's pretty cool.
Okay. So we have a house ad for it's I can't quite make out the issue number, but it's the issue of the Flash where he and Superman race, or one of them.
Yeah.
I think this isn't their very first race. I think it's like the second one.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
pretty fun.
Yeah, and Superman's being mean. Finally got you to admit that you're not the fastest man alive.
Oh, but that's his whole tagline.
Flash. Yeah, and Superman looks evil there.
Yeah.
Ow.
Who knows?
Mhm.
So the backup story in this issue is called "Captive of the Spider-Men," and wow.
Now, Peter Parker looks awful here.
Yeah. This story was written by Richard E. Hughes, who I'd never heard of before. I don't know that guy. With art by Pete Costanza. Cool splash panel.
Yeah.
Jimmy's a captive.
Yeah, and there's this spider person putting something on his head to sap out his thoughts and the king is laughing about it. Ah ha ha!
Yeah.
I'm gonna conquer your world. Okay. Yeah. And gonna use you to help us conquer Earth.
Oh man.
Okay. All right. Jimmy's in South Pacific helping Dr. Marionette with a superhero puppet show. Yes.
What?
Yes, we're in a Jimmy Olsen comic book. And that's this is solely absurd, and I love it.
And so these Superman and Batman dolls beating
And Crypto.
and Crypto beating up Lex Luthor.
Yeah, and the audience is thoroughly entertained. Yep. Oh man, and they're doing it for charity, of course.
Yes.
Jimmy is flying, and well, let's see. Lucy is
Got some
helping-
explaining to do. No. I'm kidding,
and
of course.
she's a stewardess in this, and first time we see her in these two issues.
That's true. She's still around.
Yep. They go in the plane and there's a lightning storm and they crash. And we got this scene of them being knocked out and we're looking at them through Bug's eyes.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. I didn't notice that.
No.
It's a great panel.
There's a lot of things I don't notice until I'm actually doing the show.
Yeah, me too.
This is twice this happened today. And they're captured by in a web.
Yeah, weird.
All right, we have this weird ad for Kabbalah. Kabbalah, the mystic one, sees all, tells all, your secrets of your future. And it's kind of like a Ouija board.
It's a weird game.
Yeah, man.
But what a great advertisement.
Yeah.
I think, I'm not 100% sure, but the art looks like it's by Jack Kamen, who was an artist at EC Comics.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, you see it?
Mm-hmm.
And I love that guy's stuff. I'm almost certain that it's him doing the art, and this is wonderful.
Yeah.
I would love to find this game and play it, or get a poster of this ad because it's so crazy.
No, I would like to get the game and then make a movie around it because it calls up a demon or something. Because this is freaky. It's got like a big black ball eye, and little ball rolls around, and the eyeball swivels, and
Yeah.
And there's this one little card, and I guess it's your fortune. A happy marriage with children, material wealth. Ooh.
Well, okay, sounds pretty good.
Yeah. And Kabbalah is, I think it's Jewish mysticism.
Yeah, it's spelled differently, but yeah.
And tarot cards.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
All
crazy.
right. Yeah.
So back to Jimmy Olsen. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
So, on the airplane, the Professor Marionette, I can't say that with a straight face.
He has a puppet that's like a knight or a king with a
look
sword.
at my new puppets, King Arthur. And so one of the puppets is near Jimmy, and he turns it on, and King Arthur has a sword, and he swings it, and
So he cuts through the spider web so they can get loose.
Yeah, so he's trying to get Lucy and Dr. Marinette loose.
And then a big old Spider-Man comes up.
Yep, and takes him to the volcano.
Of course. These guys are serious supervillains because they have a volcano base.
Yeah.
If you have a volcano base or an asteroid base or a castle
Yeah.
or whatever, or a mountaintop observatory.
Or a tree house.
Yeah, right. Those are like supervillain hideouts.
Yeah.
Subterranean and
Yeah.
anything, carved out of a mountain. I guess that's kind of like a volcano base, but
Yeah. Or an abandoned warehouse.
Yeah.
or abandoned carnival.
or toy factory or something
Yeah.
crazy like that, or anything factory. Remember on the Batman show where Batman was like, and Robin were captured, and they put him in that giant candle making thing where they dipped them into the wax.
I can't even imagine what Robin says. All right.
Who knows?
Yeah, something holy, something.
Yeah.
All right, so the King, Spider-Man, tells him, "Hey, we have the ability to read minds." He says, helpfully to Jimmy, and so we're gonna, and he tells him, "We're gonna conquer the outside world. The air outside is poisonous to us. Once we solve that problem, we'll be able to kill all humanity."
Oh, okay.
And then
all we have to worry about is air.
Yeah. So Jimmy says, "Well, I better call Superman."
Yeah, you
Just
think?
forgetting that he can read thoughts. I don't know how.
He just told him that too.
Yeah.
Were you even paying attention, Jimmy?
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. All right. You got to watch and call Superman. You're with an alien who can read minds. You got to think about this really quick. How are you going to do that without thinking about it?
Here's the thing. Jimmy's been in so much trouble in so many tight spots. Don't you think he could just use the watch as a reflex almost?
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah. Or think of a song in his head while he's doing it or something like that.
Signaling Superman, not with a watch that I have, honest.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, or something. But the expression of the King, he's showing the gas mask I have.
Yeah.
And he's just so happy. We're going to kill everybody. Humankind dies.
Wow.
It's,
Gleeful evil is really weird.
Yeah.
So he takes Jimmy's watch.
Yeah, and it's foolish mortal, you've forgotten that we can read your thoughts. We just told you 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh man, that's funny.
So they examine Jimmy, and so they can take Jimmy's attributes as a oxygen breather
and figure out how to adapt that to themselves. So that they can breathe oxygen and conquer the world and kill all of humanity.
Yeah, man, this Spider-Man looks cool here.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. A whole lot better than the Peter Parker one.
Yeah, that guy.
And
what a douchebag.
Yeah. He's a sad sack anyway.
Well, yeah.
Peter Emo. Okay. And so they're going to send an assassin who's been altered to breathe regular air.
Yeah.
And so the assassin goes in, and Superman's sleeping, and he's wearing pajamas.
Yeah.
And they wrap him in
spiderweb,
and it's hard as iron, but he says, "Good thing I'm the Man of Steel," and he rips it away. And,
that's awesome. Yeah, good thing. I love how this creepy Spider-Man flies to the window.
Yeah. Yeah, it is creepy. I like the second story better than the first story.
Yeah,
this is more action-packed. But
action-packed, Pee-wee.
Yeah.
But
so they start fighting. It's a pretty good fight.
Yeah. Well, DC Comics at this time aren't terribly big on action.
Yeah,
they're heavy on plot.
Yeah.
So to get a story that has some punching and some sound effects, all right, you know.
I don't mind it. Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
So they
and I love DC.
Mm-hmm. Especially now.
But I grew to love what DC was about. Yeah. Being crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel's about punching. DC's about crazy.
Which is odd because DC is... this is so white bread, middle America, 50s. And it is crazier than Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it is. Doctor Strange lives in like a gobbledygook land of weird stuff floating everywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But like his plots are pretty much like, okay, there's another evil wizard or a demon or somebody, and I got to use magic to solve the problem.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah,
you know?
and I like Doctor Strange, but yeah,
But that's the whole formula for Doctor
Yeah.
Strange.
Mm-hmm. But this is normal, super normal, Leave It to Beaver world, and weirdness happens.
Yeah, and it's awesome.
Yep, and that's why I like it. So
Superman.
Superman, the Spider-Man dies.
Good.
The Spider-Man dies because he has stung Superman too many times, and like a bee, they sting, they die.
Yeah.
So Superman didn't kill it, but it's dead.
And then he didn't get a. Then he turns on the light and he gets to see its face. He's like, "Oh, that's why." But we don't know. We don't get to see.
I don't believe it. Like you've been attacked by a giant spider, and then this surprises you here. He said, "Wow, must be a big surprise."
Yeah, we'll get to that when as the story advances.
Yeah. All right. So Superman somehow knows Jimmy Olsen's in trouble, so he looks with his supervision. And then he sees the volcanic island and sees one of Spider-Man. So he takes the Spider-Man body over there. He saves, he goes to Dr. Marionette and Lucy, and they say, don't forget about us. Go help Jimmy because he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go back to Jimmy's cell. And the Spider-Man are getting him out. It says, "Oh crap!" Jimmy thinks, "I'm going to be killed here." And yay! Superman comes in and bops him. Blam!
Yeah.
Zowie is Superman. Oh. And
then there's a great panel, several panels of Superman and Jimmy just kicking the crap out of this Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I like when Jimmy gets in the fight.
Yeah, I do too.
He's throwing punches.
Yeah. There are millions of Spider-Man. Millions.
Yeah.
And Jimmy earlier thinks that it was done by a nuclear explosion. So
are they? They're from another planet, right?
No.
They're from like under the Earth.
Yeah, they've been mutated by nuclear.
Oh, okay. I forgot.
Yeah. All right. So
now it's ruined.
They're losing, so the king goes and turns on the disintegrator ray, and unfortunately, poor disintegrator ray gun ergonomic design places the disintegrator ray lever right next to the lever for letting in the poisonous earth air. And
why would you have a lever for that?
And right next to it, I'd have that with a safety catch.
They're clearly labeled. He wasn't looking. He was too busy running away from Superman.
I have done that in my life. Hey, I'm going to grab a can of corn, and I grab the thing right next to it. And I don't know, and he's being attacked by Superman, so I will forgive him for being distracted.
Okay.
Superman is distracting.
Sure.
So the air comes out, and they start dying, and they can feel the suction from below. The air is flooding in below the earth, and it's killing all of the Spider-Men. And we're talking about millions dead.
Yeah, and so note, the King of the Spider-Men accidentally released that air, so we couldn't have Superman or Jimmy just commit genocide.
Right.
Because that'd be pretty messed up.
Yeah, but you notice they don't really feel all that sorry, and I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
I would go in there and die. These people...
they're a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. So, Superman saves Dr. Marionette and Lucy. And so Jimmy says, "How'd you find us?" And somebody used my telescopic vision. "And how'd you know I was in trouble?" So, "Well, when one of the Spider-Men attacked me, I brought back his body and looked at it. They altered the Spider-Man assassin to breathe air, using Jimmy Olsen's body, and they put Jimmy Olsen's face on it.
Which is creepy.
Yeah, but it's not a really good copy because there's no bow tie.
Oh, yeah. It wouldn't
But-
fool me.
That was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a great house ad
Oh,
here.
yes,
it's
we
an
do.
80-page giant for Superman, and it's a collection of Bizarro stories.
I used to have this, I think.
Did you?
Yeah, and it was super awesome Bizarro.
Oh,
Man.
man. Bizarro stories are so crazy.
All right. How about this? Bizarro mix, yes, Pitalik and Jimmy Olsen together. I think my head would explode.
Here's the thing. There is a Superman story. There is a story with a Bizarro Mixius Pitalik. I've seen the cover. I haven't read this, but I'm like, I gotta find it. I gotta read that.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. So this is fun.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What?
Okay. All right. So we got Bizarro's Secret Identity, and oh man, Bizarro Crypto, and Bizarro meets Frankenstein, Bizarro Lois with the Bizarro Brats, and it's coming out on October 17th, and we're being told by Crypto it am on sale October 17th.
Is it a Bizarro Crypto?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's great. I didn't notice that.
Neither did I until just now.
I love how Bizarro is telling everyone about this. This is bad news, readers. You know, like,
Yeah, you have rotten, and Bizarro Lois says you have rotten time reading it because they got our very worst stories written and drawn according to Bizarro code.
And the Bizarro code is written here. Please read it, Jeff.
Us do opposite of all earthly things. Us hate beauty. Us love ugliness. It is big crime to make anything perfect on Bizarro World.
Yeah, I love it. Man.
Bizarro World is like our world now.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love those stories.
Hey, I didn't even see this.
Oh, on the back page, we have the DC Direct Currents column. We've got advertisement for current issues of Batman and Green Lantern. But there's a great house ad on the inside back cover advertising two, neither alive nor dead, destined to stalk the Earth on missions that will astound you. Read their daring exploits in Strange Adventures and the Spectre in Brave and the Bold. So the Spectre and Deadman. Spectre's getting a revival at this time, and Deadman is a brand new character at this time.
Yeah, and they look cool. It's wonderful black and white drawing.
Yeah, I think Deadman in that picture is drawn by, looks like Carmine Infantino, and I'm not 100% sure, but the Spectre is definitely done by Murphy Anderson.
Yeah.
Really neat.
Okay. We'll take a week break because I'm going to Disneyland. I just had this idea. It is so odd that Disney owns a Marvel instead of DC. Because Disney, you would think DC is Disney.
Yeah,
And especially.
And I would think that Marvel would be like a Looney Tunes.
Yeah, exactly. And so, that was interesting. But
Yeah, we are living in a bizarre world.
yes, we are.
Yes. Yes, we'll be back in 2 weeks. But this Comic Reflections is recorded in Portland, Oregon, and produced by Sean Roof. Until next time.
We'll see you in the funny pages.
Batman Nightcast, a thrilling new podcast from the Fire and Water Podcast Network, hosted by Ryan Daly
and Chris Franklin. Nightcast chronicles the Cape Crusaders' adventures in Batman and Detective Comics after Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Highlights from this legendary era include
Batman number 400,
Legends,
Mike Barr and Alan Davis,
Batman Year 1,
Batman Year 2,
Max Allan Collins,
ugh,
the new Jason Todd,
ugh,
Millennium,
you're not doing this right, let me take over, Alan Grant and Norm Brayfogle.
Alan Grant from Jurassic Park?
Did you hear me say Norm freaking Brayfogle?
Oh yeah,
Son of the Demon,
The Killing Joke,
A Death in the Family,
Batman Year 3,
A Lonely Place of Dying,
Alan Grant, Alan Davis, Max Allan Collins. Why are there so many people named Alan from this era of Batman?
The Rise of Tim Drake,
Legends of the Dark Knight.
and that's just up until 1989.
Did anything exciting happen with Batman after that?
You'll have to tune in to find out.
Batman Nightcast, part of the Fire and Water Podcast Network.
Find it on iTunes and at fireandwaterpodcast.com.
Oh, we forgot to mention your favorite issue, when Batman fires Dick Grayson.
You want to find another co-host?
229 different characters spanning the galaxies of the Legion of Superheroes, presented across 7 comic book issues. A new miniseries as part of the Who's Who podcast. To handle this many characters, the Irredeemable Shag is bringing in a ringer, or maybe we should call them flight ringers.
Who's Who in the Legion of
Who's Who in the Legion of
Who's Who in the Legion of Superheroes.
The Legion of Superheroes.
In the Legion of Superheroes.
The Legion of Superbloggers team up to present Who's Who in the Legion of Superheroes, a 3-episode miniseries in 2017, part of the Who's Who podcast on the Fire and Water Podcast Network. Long live the Legion.